There's a new version of the Chrysler 200 coming out for 2015, and boy is it different from the old one. In fact, I'm wondering why they didn't decide to change the name of this car because it's just so different. Instead of being based on the old Chrysler Sebring platform, this new one's based on an Italian platform, which makes perfect sense because Chrysler's owned by Fiat now, which is an Italian company. But unlike the Dodge Dart that came out a couple of years ago, the Chrysler 200 looks and drives more like an American car. The suspension is softer and more comfortable, and the cabin seems classier like you'd expect in a new Chrysler. The people at Chrysler compare the 200's styling to the classic American designs like the Airstream trailer and the Eames chair. While I can see a bit of the Eames chair influence in the cabin, the outside looks much more German to my eyes. It's got a high, sculpted trunk lid like a BMW, a sleek roofline like the Mercedes CLS, and LED accents like an Audi. I mean, it looks like an expensive car, but I just don't see an American Airstream trailer, for example, when I look at it. I drove the 200 around suburban Dallas one afternoon, and my first impression is that it's a drastic improvement over the old car. The new 2015 model can actually compete head-to-head with Honda, Toyota, Ford, and Chevy, which is the first time in a long time that Chrysler has had a car in this class that can actually compete at that level. Two things I loved about it were the power from the V6 engine and just how nice the cabin feels in this car. The materials they picked, the design they used, it just makes it feel like a more expensive car than it is. But the base price is still under $22,000. A couple of things I didn't like about it. I thought the brakes felt a bit too mushy for my taste, and I thought the 9-speed transmission was just overkill. It had so many gears in it that it just never seemed to stick with the same one for very long. Now that said, if I were shopping for a mid-size sedan right now, this new Chrysler 200 is actually one that I'd take a close look at. I like the way it looks, I like the way it drives, and I like how it feels like a high-class car without spending those high-class dollars. That's my first impression of this car.